Hello, everybody. Glad to be back with you with the one and only Will Fix.
Woohoo!
Hey, how's it going, Will?
Doing great, man. How about yourself?
Not too shabby. Hey, listen, everybody. We have some great content to release to you guys once again. And basically, let's face it, everybody is interested in price. You're not hearing it from us. It's from the one and only David Schwartz in regards to a Ripple XRP high price. And I believe in the past, Will has covered this on his channel. But nonetheless, I'm going to bring it up on your screen. It's this reference. And I think it's a good thing to basically share for you guys. So,
If you own crypto, you need a self custody wallet. I've chosen the Decent wallet after owning several different wallets. I believe you will like it too. Use the link in the description. Purchase from my site. It does help support the channel. I appreciate it.
as I load this up, you're going to see from this source. Actually, I'll share this one. And if anything, I want to get Will's perspective on, and I'll just read just a brief bit before he gets into it. But like it says, I'll go ahead and full screen this. David Schwartz explained that with a higher XRP price, less XRP is needed to move the same transaction amount. For the transfer of 1 billion US dollars, the following basically applies. If 1 XRP costs 1 US dollar, 1 billion XRP is needed. If 1 XRP costs 10 US dollars, 100 million XRP is needed. If 1 XRP costs 100 US dollars, 10 million XRP is needed. If 1 XRP costs 1,000 US dollars, 1 million XRP is needed. And if 1 XRP costs 10,000 US dollars, 100,000 XRP is needed. This means the higher the price of XRP, the more efficient the system becomes, as less XRP is required for large money transfers. So, Will, where would you like to start off with this particular one? How about right here? I heard your perspective maybe about a year ago, but there's a lot of new people. They don't know about this. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. One of the things to consider, one of the things whenever we're buying an asset is we consider price, don't we? So we look at charts and we try to figure, hey, it's moving inside a channel, and we want to buy it at the lowest price possible, right? Because we're going to hold it and earn money. Now that's the perspective of us, of retail people, which XRP wasn't actually designed for retail, but of course it's offered publicly, so we all own it, and it kind of works as a stock, so to speak, in XRP, and it gains price, and so we like the fact that we bought it at a low price. But this consideration isn't a consideration at all for banks and institutions. They could care less what the price is, which is a tremendous idea as far as we're concerned, because that means if they want to buy or use XRP, here look at this scenario. They walk up to the counter, so to speak, and set down. What are they talking about moving here? $1 billion, and they set down $1 billion and they want to move $1 billion. They don't care about. They don't say, "Well, how much is it?" They don't care. They're pushing $1 billion into XRP, whether it's a billion XRP, or if it's 500 million XRP or 1 million XRP. They don't care, because they're going to send it from their point A to point B. That's their purpose. So they're what I call the indiscriminate buyer. They could care less about price, which is freaking awesome. Because if you have thousands of banks and institutions, which we know of 1,700 non-disclosures, not to mention the ones that they have disclosed of banks and institutions that are partnered with Ripple, when you have thousands of banks wanting to move money and they're indiscriminate about how much it is, they just want the other side to get it. Me and you sit back and go, man, buy it for top dollar, because we're all about the price. Now, I believe, one thought that I have towards that, eventually, a lot of people will let their XRP go because the price is going to get is going to get tremendous because all of the need out there, there's only so much coin that's available for the banks to use, because we got how much coin busy, Max, with creating wallets. How many's in the AMM where people are earning money and yield? How much has been transferred to XRPL site for real world assets to use in smart contracts? How much is going to be being purchased for ETFs? Because XRP can't be in two places at once. If it's used over there, it has to be held by the asset manager over the ETF. It can't be used for cross-border. So that pool of availability of coin gets smaller and smaller. So we think, man, there's 100 billion coin. No, there's not. There's 47 billion in escrow, and that's their wallet. They're not going to just offload that. That's actually their spending money.
Which is like a lockup to a sense.
Yeah, and there is a lockup, isn't there? There's a lockup like they've been turning around 800 million. They get $1 billion. They've been keeping out 200 million, turning 800 million around. Well, I learned that there's a rule for that escrow account that locks that 800 million up for 40 months, which means we have a backlog of 40 months of money that's been locked up. So it's not all available, which means the shrinking supply that's available for banks and institutions will have to be the only ones that are used for cross-border, and it'll have to match what's needed in the use case. So the more that buy it, the higher the price it's going to have to be in order to accomplish the task. So instead of creating more coin, the coin gets more expensive. And that's where this scenario comes in. And don't you notice that David went all the way to 10,000 per coin?
Yeah, he absolutely did. We're going to actually pull that up. So the next thing is going to come up on your screen. Shout out to this lovely lady, Amalia, Crypto Barbie. She says, wow, Ripple CTO, David Schwartz, quote, XRP will become a settlement system of high value. And I'll go ahead and full screen this. Says, no coincidence that XRP was created for $10,000 plus. Again, I know some of you guys see these prices and you're like, you don't know. But here's the thing. Hear from the horse's mouth in regards to that. This is literally him. This is not us stating it. Listen to this. In my opinion, he's like in the Mount Rushmore of smartest guys in crypto, if you will. David Schwartz. 18 seconds. Here we go.
Yeah, that's kind of where we are now, and we're trying to move into that stage where we have big players and lots of liquidity, and that way there'll be easy ways to get money in and out. There'll be lots of liquidity for cross-currency and cross-border payments, and it'll become a settlement system that will be of high value.
Very good.
All right, so a settlement system with high value. Now I'm going to pull something else back up on your screen, okay? And that is what you're going to see here in regards to this thread of what we originally shared. I think this is good stuff. So on another outline that we have for you guys, we were talking about RLUSD. Now, we already jumped to the part 2. Will was talking about this earlier with the other thread or outline that we had, the collaboration. I like what this guy has to state. I'm going to go ahead and follow him. He deserves it at 60 Crypto. He says, think of RLUSD as a tool for stability, but XRP is the backbone of liquidity. The more RLUSD is used, the more transactions occur on XRPL and every RLUSD transaction. It fuels demand for XRP, and here's how it plays out. Now, before we get into the next part of this, think about what was mentioned. Because we've already seen this being put to work as of many years. People say, well, what are you referring to? I'm referring to Bitcoin, BTC. That already exists. This model already exists with that because you have the Tether pairings and, of course, Tether, of course, being delisted. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a great example of where he's going with this is like, wouldn't that create huge demand for XRP? The answer is yes. But look, he gets more into this for a second. Look at this, Will. This is good stuff because you talked about this earlier. He says, imagine 1 billion RLUSD being transferred. RLUSD is stable, but fees are paid in XRP. Just like with the US dollar in traditional finance, you need a medium to settle the transaction. XRP is that medium. This means more RLUSD equals more demand for XRP. So you have a way better system with Ripple XRP. As we know, with Tether, I believe is on the Ethereum network, and this just is going to be a lot more faster. You're starting to see that shift. I mean, again, is this this is not the main switch that everybody's looking forward to, but maybe there's more than one switch and more liquidity. I think that's a big deal.
I do too. Yeah, it's a whole switchboard of activity.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. There's another thing. I love it when people write these threads. The higher the price of XRP, the more efficient the system becomes. If one XRP is $1, you need more XRP for fees. Again, back to that visual from earlier. If XRP hits $10, $100, or even $1,000, fewer XRP are needed, but every RLUSD transaction still requires it. Yeah. So there's no special rules about how it's done. It's just, it follows that same, I don't know, we call rule book guideline, That's an interesting candle. But anyway, and this other one, RLUSD will attract massive institutional use. I mean, I was already sold on the whole thing of Ripple XRP for ODL, on-demand liquidity. For me, it was like, that's the smart money. If this would have existed back in the last recession, instead of, the U.S. government taking on that debt to bail out the banks, it could have been, Ripple XRP tokenizing debt, right? So now you see here with this example that each transaction burns a small amount of XRP. So with that small amount, would it be, Will, like the drops? I think you've done this on your channel. Yeah. So
and people, at a glancing thought about this, it's like, I can see someone going, well, why is, RLUSD why is it such a big deal? Well, there has to be a digital answer. There has, you just, if you're a bank and you just got X amount of XRP, where you quarterly have a review and you have a certain amount that you can have in a cryptocurrency. You can't just leave it there. So you got to be able to convert that to dollars right away. And RLUSD would be the perfect digital solution to convert it right away. So they'll be much more inclined to use RLUSD than anything else, because they're trusting already Ripple with billions and billions of dollars. So it's the natural answer. And it's backed by U.S. treasuries. So it actually is a U.S. dollar.
Yeah, I have another outline where I was talking about the U.S. treasuries and the 589 concept, but that's all right. Just a tad bit more. This is good. I mean, he really gets into. I'll just show you like maybe 2 or 3 more for you guys. I think this is good. I like when people write this stuff out. So instead of replacing XRP, because we don't want that, right? What's the point of getting into this? And if it's going to be replaced. So RLUSD amplifies its value. How so? Well, listen to this, everybody. Institutions will use RLUSD for stability, but the network, it thrives on XRP. It's a win-win. The more RLUSD adoption grows, the more valuable XRP becomes. Think about that. So if you look years ago in regards to, and I think this is a good example, BTC, well, whether you're a fan of Tether or whatnot, say what you want, all those pairings brought in more and more of the liquidity, I should say, into it, created Bitcoin dominance. Would we see, Will, for the future? Might take a few years. I don't know. Might be quicker with, of course, regulatory clarity, but, more valuable XRP due to tremendous amount of liquidity coming in due to a pairing with this, with RLUSD, a pairing with that, RLUSD over and over and over and over again, because that's what you've seen with the model with Tether. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about this, guys? Another one real quick. In summary, RLUSD boosts XRPL activity and creates a continuous cycle of demand, of course, for XRP. The more RLUSD moves, the more the whole system benefits. XRP holders, this would be massive for you. And again, we're not even to where we really are dreaming about. The whole thing of, you know, like for me, it's you know, tokenization of debt. Derivatives market's going to be huge, even with XDC and so on. So again, we're not even to that, and yet we have this mechanism RLUSD in place. And yeah, give this guy a follow at 60 crypto. When I post this on X, I'll definitely give this guy a shout out. But you know, Will, I love your analogies in that regard. Before we wrap it up real quick, brother, I want to point this out to everybody else, and that is this. Okay, people ask, are we in the middle of rebuilding the financial system? Some people feel as though that no, it's already been rebuilt. Now it's just that adoption with that clarity. Now I get this. You guys see this on the screen. And a lot of you guys are going to state this is obviously stellar. And I'm not saying it isn't. Some of you guys are going to also say that maybe it's Cosmos, right? But whatever the case be, here's the area of emphasis. The area of emphasis is what you see in regards to the revelation of a method revealed all the way back in 1988. And like you see on the highlight in yellow on August 25th of 1988, you have that highlighted in the data patent June 18th, 1991, as I mentioned in my other video, assignee David Schwartz Enterprises. And is this the real true thing that the economist was referring to? Well, again, it could be this, it could be Stellar. There's a chance of Cosmos, but I'm leaning more towards it's either Ripple XRP or Stellar. But here is the patent that is referenced, plain as day, and you see it. You know, it's United States Patent 502-5369A. And again, the highlights for you is an application filed by David Schwartz Enterprises prior to what you saw earlier and assigned to him at least then. And then, if anything, like he pointed out, this expired as a direct reaction to the Bitcoin white paper. He realized that, you know, that it was the time to do something different, enhance XRP. In conclusion, before we wrap it up with Will, shout out to Michael Cornwell for providing this, and of course, Jack the Rippler. This was reported earlier today. XRP price prediction. XRP overtakes USDT after Ripple unlocks 500 million ahead of Trump inauguration. Now check this out, everybody. This is really, really cool. It's this in regards to this transaction detail. Look what you see on the screen, Wells. You see this escrow execution. It was successful. And what do we see? Escrow amount, 500 million XRP, sender Ripple, receiver Ripple. XRPL fee is not that much. Remember how you covered the whole thing with drops. And in the memo, it says January 20th is around the corner. Very true. 17 days away. Donald Trump will be in the White House, and we're going to make crypto great again. Now, I pointed this out to Will, and I think we both agree on this. And we're not trying to make it political. That's not the point. But the point is this. Whether you're a fan of Trump or not, say what you want on Election Day. That was in November. We saw a direct reaction from that win. So even if the whole market was to go bloody again, Will and I talked about this. I remember having this conversation with you, I think it was yesterday, the day before, my friend, and that was, we're not really too worried about it because this, say what you want, is another buy the rumor, sell the news event, and Gensler is supposed to step down that day. So,
yeah, or be somehow removed. He waited to the last minute, though. He's such a tool.
Yeah, a tool that's secretly using Ripple XRP on demand liquidity. I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't know. For all we know, he might secretly own some with a secret wallet or something. But whatever the case be,
I did give him some advice in a video. I told him, I said, you should buy a lot of XRP before you announce that you're stepping down because you'll make a lot of money on the rise in price of XRP. I don't know if he took it or not, but just think if you had a job and you knew if you're going to step down, the asset price is going to change. I would buy it.
Yeah, that guy, I don't know, man. He's the Benedict Arnold of crypto.
Yeah.
Does those lectures at MIT. Literally, he's talked about Algorand, obviously Ripple XRP a few times. And yeah, he's an absolute sellout. But you know, we'll see what happens after January 20 with him and so on.
Now, and
So
also the fine, the 125 million, when it was at 50 cents, that was a whole lot. That was 250 million XRP, wasn't it?
I would have to double check that. I
50
take the word on
cents,
that.
it would be
Yeah.
125 million times 2. So it'd be 250 million. So what is it at $2.50? It's a
I
lot
don't know.
less XRP, isn't it? So it's
Yeah.
125 million divided by, let's say, $2.50 to make it easy. 50. So it went from 250 million XRP to 50 million XRP.
Yeah, the timing of it wasn't too bad on XRP's behalf, right? So that's cool, you know. But
and maybe if they end up paying, now real quick, what do you think about, I don't know if I like the idea of them dropping the suit as much as I would like them to pay the fee, because there's more clarity if they pay the fine. I mean, if they pay the fine, then there's more clarity than if they just absolve the case, because then it's still like out there, kind of like, well, okay, now what,
I think they're gonna basically come out with the right outcome. I see where you're coming from in that regard, but I mean, look at Stuart Alderati. I mean, he's going to give them the best advice when it comes to
Yeah,
that. You know, John Deaton as well, but you know, whatever the case be, I think they're going to come out ahead in that regard. But I do see the point you're trying to make. But even not to dismiss it, but hear me out. With all that said, there's too much that's ready in front of not just Ripple, but the entire industry moving forward when it comes to proper regulations.
yeah.
We have the whole thing of SEPA coming up on January 9th. Quant Network announced that. Then you have SEPA in Europe. In my other outline, I was highlighting Chris Larson back in 2014 was talking about the whole thing of Ripple and SEPA. That got delayed. It's a big thing, but the key thing is the year for real regulations. I've heard about this since 2021. 4 years later, here we are still talking about it, but now we finally have key dates about not just integration, but the actual, as I would mention, the mandates. So we're going from integration phase, if you will, especially when it comes to was it the chips, and then we have, for example, SEPA coming up, and then of course we have the mandate ISO 222 in November of 2025. And by the way, with SEPA, the final deadline is October 9th, if I'm not mistaken, roughly in that area. And as we know, a month after that will be the ISO 222 mandate. So could Ripple strategically put themselves in a better um, better light, if you will, like you were mentioning? Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I don't really think it's going to matter all that much because regulations will blanket all of that,
Yeah, yeah,
whether
I think
there's a
you're right.
bad case or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. The regulations will be coming through anyway, so it won't matter whether they paid the fine or not. Might as well save the money.
Right. But I
Yeah,
mean, from our perspective, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it does seem a little bit better. So, but anyway, guys, we're glad to share that with you guys. Hey, do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe as Will would mention. And you know, moving forward, since Will is a lot better and I got a lot better, we got kind of sick over the
yeah.
after the the trip back. But whatever the case be, we're gonna be doing collaborations a lot more regularly. Nothing too out of sight. Maybe like, what do you think? Once or twice a week, something like
Sure.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so we're glad to be back with you guys. Before it was in person, how cool. In the future it will be in person, right? But glad to be back with you guys. So check out Will's channel. If you're seeing this on his, check out mine. And as the saying goes, know what you have, know why
That's
you hold
right.
it. The
Know what you're
research
holding.
trumps FUD 110%. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Have a good one.